Welcome to the Lord forever. We are here at Tirukural number 11. Before wealth, before power, before even knowledge, there is rain. Because the world continues to function only due to rain, rain itself deserves to be known as Amritam, the nectar of life. Rain does not merely help the world, it keeps the world alive. Food grows because of rain, rivers flow because of rain, life breathes because of rain. Geoscience tells us where rain persisted, civilizations flourished, sediments thickened, soils deepened, lives expanded. Astrology tells us when nourishing planets strengthen rainfall, the land prospers. Rocks remember it, stars echo it. Even today, with all our technology, a failed monsoon humbles nation. We store water, we divert rivers, but only rain creates abundance. That which sustains the world continuously is worth of being called Amritam. Rain is not a blessing, rain is life itself. Thank you. Subscribe for more videos on Tirukural. Thank you. Welcome to the Lord forever. Life does not depend on abundance, it depends on what truly sustains. Thiruvalluvar speaks today about nourishment, not excess. That food is true nourishment, which nourishes the eater and also becomes nourishment for the body itself. It is not about taste, it is about fitness and harmony. In geoscience, the purest water is not found at the surface. It becomes pure by slowly passing through the layers of soil and rock. What the ground cannot absorb becomes flood. What the body cannot absorb becomes disease. True nourishment is what integrates smoothly. In astrology, Jupiter governs nourishment, food, growth, balance, and wisdom. Jupiter does not favor excess, it favors what sustains life steadily. Food taken beyond one's capacity weakens Jupiter. Food aligned with one's nature strengthens life. Thiruvalluvar is precise. Food should nourish the eater and be nourished by the body. If the body rejects it, it was never true food. True nourishment is mutual harmony. Modern life confuses eating with consumption. Kural 12 restores clarity. That which strengthens life without burden is real nourishment. Eat what sustains you, not what excites you. That is health, that is wisdom, that is Kural 12. In our next Kural, we'll see what destroys restraint from within. Subscribe for Tirukkural in Amritam, Earth, Cosmos, and Wisdom. Thank you. Welcome to the Lord forever. Civilizations do not collapse overnight, they weaken when the sky withholds. Thiruvalluvar speaks today about a truth as old as life itself. If the sky fails in its promise, hunger will rise. From within the vast water surrounded world, this is Kural 13 of the Tirukkural. It is not a metaphor alone, it is ecology. In geoscience, rainfall is not just water, it is a systems trigger. When rain falls, rivers retreat, soil loses moisture, crops fail silently. The earth may be covered in oceans, yet hunger rises from the land. Water exists, access disappears. In astrology, Jupiter governs rain, growth, and sustenance. When Jupiter is weakened, the sky withholds generosity, not as punishment, but as imbalance. Hunger is not sudden, it is the consequence of broken harmony. Thiruvalluvar's insight is severe. Even a world surrounded by water cannot escape hunger. When the sky fails its duty, abundance without balance is an illusion. Today we speak of climate change, food security, and failing monsoons. Thiruvalluvar said it first. When rain fails, everything else fails. Protect the life and sky's balance, or hunger will rise from within. That is survival. That is wisdom. That is Kural 13. In our next Kural, we'll see why rain is praised as divine. Subscribe for Amridam, Earth, cosmos, and wisdom. Welcome to the Lord forever. Rain alone does not create prosperity, nor does it effort alone. Thiruvalluvar reminds us nature and human action must meet. If farmers do not plough their fields, the abundance brought by rain will diminish itself. This is Kural 14 of the Tirukural. It is not about agriculture alone, it is about preparedness. In geoscience, rain does not help harden ground. Water runoff does, causing erosion and loss. But when soil is stilled, rain infiltrates. Nutrients dissolve. Life begins. Rain is potential. The land must be ready. In astrology, Jupiter brings rain and abundance, but Saturn governs labor and preparation. When Saturn's discipline is ignored, Jupiter's gift goes to waste. Grace without effort never becomes prosperity. Thiruvalluvar's lesson is sharp. Do not blame the sky if the ground is unprepared. Opportunity visits all, only readiness receives it. Even today, rainwater is wasted without storage. Talent is wasted without discipline. Kural 14 is a law of life. Efforts turn to grace into wealth. Plow the field, and the rain will reward you. That is prosperity. That is wisdom. That is Kural 14. In our next Kural, we'll see what happens when rain fails entirely. Subscribe more for Amrudam through Earth, Cosmos, and Wisdom. Thank you. Welcome to the Lord forever. Rain is never neutral. It can destroy, it can restore. Thiruvalluvar reveals today one of the most unsettling truths of nature. Rain destroys as well. Rain also becomes a refuge for the ruined, and rain alone raises everything back again. This is Kural 15 of the Tirukkural. It is not contradiction, it is natural law. In geoscience, rain is a dual force. Too much rain causes floods, landslides, and destruction. Too little rain causes drought, famine, and collapse. The same rain that destroys today is the only force that can restore tomorrow. Nature does not choose sides, it responds to balance. In astrology, when Jupiter is balanced, life flourishes. When Jupiter is excessive or distorted, the same abundance becomes burden. Grace without limits can overwhelm. Thiruvalluvar wisdom is sharp. Do not curse the rain for destruction. Without rain, there is no recovery. That which breaks is also what heals. The same force that destroys is the only force that restores. Modern life fears extremes, yet forgets dependence. Coral 15 teaches humility. We are not masters of nature, we are shaped by it. Learn to live in balance with rain, for it alone both humbles and lifts the world. That is survival, that is wisdom, that is Coral 15. In our next Coral, we'll see that which strengthens the righteous rule. Subscribe more for Amridam, Earth, Cosmos, and Wisdom. Thank you. Welcome to the Lord forever. Life does not need abundance to begin. It needs one right cause. Thiruvalluvar turns our gaze to the smallest miracle. Unless a drop falls from the sky, it is rare to see even the tip of green grass upon the earth. This is Kural 16 of the Tirukkural. It speaks of origins, not scale. In geoscience, ecosystems awaken only after a threshold is crossed. A single rainfall can trigger germination. Without moisture, seeds remain dormant, alive but unseen. Rain is not quantity, it is permission for life to appear. In astrology, Jupiter governs fertility and growth. It does not force life, it enables it. When Jupiter's influence arrives, even barren phases show their first green sign. Growth begins quietly. Thiruvalluvar's wisdom is precise. Without the right cause, effort remains invisible. Life reveals itself only when the conditions are met. Small causes awaken great life. Modern life celebrates outcomes. Kural 16 reminds us to respect beginnings. No rain, no green. No enabling condition, no growth. Never dismiss a single drop. That is how life announces itself. That is wisdom. That is Kural 16. In our next Kural, we will see why is rain praised above all gifts. Subscribe more for Amridam through earth, cosmos, and wisdom. Thank you. Welcome to the Lord forever. We believe the ocean is endless. We believe abundance is permanent. Thiruvalluvar reminds us even the greatest reservoirs depend on the smallest act of giving. Even the vast ocean loses its natural fullness if the beautiful clouds withhold their gift. This is Kural 17 of the Tirukural. It speaks of interdependence, not size. Rivers feed oceans, glaciers feed oceans, rain returns its own water. If precipitation slows, salinity rises, circulation weakens, balance is lost. Even the ocean survives only through continuous exchange. Greatness does not mean independence. When generosity flows, systems flourish. When generosity contracts, not from malice but imbalance, even abundance shrinks. Giving sustains the giver. Thiruvalluvar's warning is subtle. Hoarding weakens even the mighty. Withholding breaks natural cycles. Life thrives on circulation. Nothing remains full without giving. In modern times, we fear lose, loss, stop giving. Kural 17 teaches the opposite. Sustain the flow or abundance will fade. Even the ocean needs the rain. So does every life. That is balance. That is wisdom. That is Kural 17. In our next Kural, we'll see when rain nourishes all equally. Subscribe more for Amridam through Earth, Cosmos, and Wisdom. Thank you. Welcome to the Lord forever. Rituals are performed, prayers are offered, festivals continue. But Thiruvalluvar asks a very difficult question. What is the value of worship when the sky itself fails? Even the worship of the gods loses its meaning, even if the sky dries up. This is Kural 18 of the Tirukural. It is not irreverence, it is prioritization. In geoscience, no ritual sustains life. When rainfall fails, reservoirs empty, crops vanish, societies destabilize. Ceremony cannot replace ecology. If the atmosphere collapses, everything sacred follows it. In astrology, even the devas depend on Jupiter. Jupiter governs rain, nourishment, and grace. When Jupiter withholds, not even divine privilege overrides natural law. Dharma without balance cannot be sustained. Thiruvar message is radical. Protect the natural order first. Without it, worship becomes hollow. Spirituality cannot survive ecological neglect. No ritual replaces rain. Climate summits, drought hit regions, empty temples. Today, we believe and disbelieve. We debate over it. Kural 18 cuts through both. Without ecological balance, neither gods nor humans can be sustained. Care for the sky or even prayer will fall silent. That is responsibility. That is wisdom. That is Kural 18. Subscribe more for Amritam through Earth, Cosmos, and Wisdom. Thank you. Welcome to the Lord forever. We praise charity. We admire austerity. But Thiruvalluvar asks a harder question. Can virtue survive without rain? If the sky does not give, this vast world cannot sustain either charity or austerity. This is Kural 19 of the Tirukural. It is not cynical, it is realistic. No rain leads to crop failure, which leads to empty storehouses. Ethics alone cannot override ecology. When rain fails, harvests fail, surplus vanishes, resources shrink. Without surplus, there is no charity. Without food, there is no austerity. The earth must provide first before humans can be virtuous. When Jupiter is weakened, not from malice but imbalance, giving becomes impossible. Dharma does not disappear, it waits for conditions to return. Thirulluvar's truth is stark. Virtue is not abstract, it is situated. A starving world cannot sustain ideals. Ethics need ecology to stand. Economic collapse aids stops. Moral debates fade. Today, we argue about values without neglecting strict systems. Kural 19 reminds us protect the sky, or even goodness will fall silent. Before charity and austerity, there must be rain. That is balance. That is wisdom. That is Kural 19. Subscribe more for Amritam through Earth, Cosmos, and Wisdom. Thank you. Welcome to the Lord Forever. We speak of morality. We argue about conduct. Thiruvalluvar asks us to pause and look at water. If the world cannot exist without water, then for no one can right conduct exist without rain. This is Kural 20 of the Thirukkural. It is a radical claim. Ethics itself depends on ecology, rain, rivers, settlement, and social order. Water comes first. Where water flows, soil forms, crops grow, communities arise. Remove water and order collapses. No water, no stability. Nature establishes the conditions before society can establish rules. Jupiter governs dharma, the right conduct, but Jupiter also governs rain. This is not symbolism alone, it is insight. When rain fails, generosity shrinks, patience thins, conflict rises. Dharma breathes only where sustenance can take place. Shared water, calm faces. Scarcity, tension and conflict. Thiruvalluvar's clarity is uncompromising. Morality is not detached from life, it is rooted in survival. Without water, conduct itself dries up. Ethics flows where water flows. Water crisis leads to social unrest. Water security gives peace and cooperation. Modern debates separate values from resources. Kural 20 unites them. Protect water and conduct will follow. Neglect water and ethics will fracture. Care for water and humanity will care for itself. That is order. That is wisdom. That is Kural 20. Subscribe more for Amrutam, Earth, Cosmos, and Wisdom. Thank you.